Hello, everyone. You're welcome to another exciting and engaging episode on the Amorgate Radio Communications. It's such a joy and a delight to be with you today, the 26th of August, 2024, and it happens to be the last Monday in the month of August. Yay! I'm so excited to be seeing the last week in the month of August. I mean, it was such a joy to start the month with you, and we're grateful we're ending the month with you, and we're hoping and we trust that you achieved all the set goals and objectives you had for the month of August in your organization. And if you didn't, we thank God that you're still alive, and we know that there are more opportunities in the coming months. Thank you for always joining in. Thank you for always being a part of this. Thank you for always giving us a reason to show up again and again. I remain your host, Adikbeju Jayoba, and together we've been considering leadership competencies and organizational behavior. And we have considered competencies, capabilities, skills that we believe every leader should have in the 21st century. And that is because we have established that leadership is very crucial and very essential to eliciting the right work behavior in the organization. Organizational behavior being the manner of response or the way employees act and respond and interact in the workplace. And so we have said that if you want a healthy work behavior, if you want a healthy organizational behavior, then you want to put an effective and competent leadership structure in place to get that in process. Today we're going to be considering something very important and very essential to organizational behavior. In the last couple of months in the international scene, something interesting has been unfolding that I've particularly been a part of and I've particularly paid attention to, and that is the upcoming elections of the United States of America. And while I'm not particularly a political enthusiast, one of the things I would say is that one person has stood out for me, and I'm sure stood out for a lot of persons, not only in the United States, but across the nations of the world. One person has stood out in leadership capacities and capabilities and has shown strength and shown the capacity and the ability to take the United States forward. And who am I talking about? I'm talking about the current serving Vice President of the United States since 2021, serving alongside with President Joe Biden. I'm talking about the Vice President, Kamala Harris. One of the things that's striking about this woman is not only because she's the first female vice president in the United States, which is very outstanding because that makes her the highest ranking female official in the US history. She's also the first African American and the first Asian American vice president. Wow, that's very outstanding. But also, much more than being a vice president, one of the things that Kamala has shown is that she has shown steady growth, steady progress, steady development as a leader over the years in her career. She has served as a U.S. Senator from California from 2017 to 2021. She has served as the Attorney General of California. She has served in different capacities. She has served as a district attorney of San Francisco. She's been a serving senator, giving her best, contributing. She's been a public defender. But one of the things I tell myself is that Kamala Harris did not become vice president material overnight. As a graduate from Howard University and the University of California College of Law, San Francisco, she didn't become vice president the day she graduated from college or the day she stepped into Congress. Somebody or some group of persons must have given her wings to fly. When she came into office to serve, somebody must have shown her the ropes. Certain persons might have put her through the process. Certain persons must have believed in her dream. Certain persons must have seen a potential, probably in raw form, probably seen beyond what she was seeing for herself. Anyone can have great dreams and ambition, but it takes somebody ahead of you and somebody who is higher than you to see that potential in raw form and begin to build and shape and mold that potential to bring you into the true actualization of that dream. And so I see a woman who is not only competent and capable to be given the presidential ticket for the Democrats, but I see a woman who has been trained and mentored and groomed and raised to become the woman that she is today. And so today we'll be considering the role of mentorship in organizational behavior, and I'll be focusing more on succession management. Yes, the role of mentorship as a leadership competence and how it impacts succession management as an organizational behavior. Now, one of the things that we will both agree on is that in today's rapidly evolving business landscape, things are moving so fast at the speed of light. Organizations continually face the ongoing challenge of maintaining leadership and leadership continuity and relevance in the workplace. 1 minute you are the top of the game, you are probably the best in the industry, and another minute a competitor is taking over. Or a new organization is showing up with new innovation, new ideas, and becoming the big boss in the playing field. So this means that organizations must continuously nurture and develop the next generation of leaders if they want to maintain their competitive advantage, if they want to ensure sustainability, if they want to drive innovation, and they want to secure a place for themselves in the future. One of the things we'll say is that effective succession management is a critical strategic priority to ensure that businesses can adapt to changes and sustain long-term growth. And one of the keys that we have seen, or one of the critical tools that has been very important, very necessary and essential to succession management is mentoring. Mentoring over the years has proven itself to be a critical tool to providing aspiring leaders or leaders that are being raised with the guidance, the knowledge, the skills, the competencies, and the support that they need to grow into effective and capable leaders. And when I'm talking about succession management, somebody can be asking, Adepeju, what is succession management? In very simple terms, succession management involves the systematic identification and development of potential leaders within an organization. It simply means looking at the talent pool that you have currently in your organization and systematically and strategically identifying employees with the capacity to become future leaders. Just like I started with Kamala Harris, beautiful woman. I love her because she's breaking the ceiling in the United States. Not only is she of African, Asian descent, she's also a woman. And she's aspiring to do what a lot of women have tried to do, but they have not done. And she wants to break the ceiling, and she has a great dream for the American nation. In the same vein, one of the things succession management does is that it ensures that there is a pipeline of qualified individuals that are prepared, please mark the word prepared, that are prepared and ready to step into key roles when needed, minimizing disruptions in the organization and maintaining organization stability to a good extent. Succession management is very vital to mitigating risk associated with sudden loss of leadership, such as retirement, resignations, or unexpected departures. Now, one of the things we must know is that with the passage of time, change will come. And one of the things that change brings, it brings change in leadership dynamics. It brings change in leadership structure. It brings change. Sometimes I mean, one of the things we've seen in life is that as long as time goes on, people would always grow. You have a baby, it's cute and cuddly, you're so enamored by these chubby little cheeks. And then right before your eyes, these chubby little cheeks, these cute little babies start to take their first steps. They become 1, they become 3, they become 5. They start to go to school. They begin to ask you questions. Then they want to go to high school. They start to lock their doors. They go to college. And then right before your eyes, this cute, adorable baby is telling you, hello, mom, hello, dad. There's somebody I want to introduce you to. And before you know it, your kids grow up to also become parents. And then you move into the category of grandparents. That's the cycle of life. It's the dynamics that time brings into life. And it brings this dynamics also into the organization. Your very competent, outstanding leaders will grow and become old one day, and then they will take a bow. And sometimes it might not even be retirements, a relocation, health challenges. Anything can force a leader to step out of their leadership position, or probably even promotion. Now, the executive director is old and he wants to retire, and then the head of a department has to be promoted to become the executive director. Now that role of head of department will be vacant. You need capable, competent, skilled potential leaders that you've groomed over the years who can fit into the position of head of department. And organizations that don't pay attention to succession management always feel the impact of the gap when it does occur, because it is not a question of if it will occur, it's a question of when it will occur, because it will happen. Life will happen. Leadership will change hands, and you will need employees to come on board leadership roles. So it is very important and it's very essential that employees in the organization are trained, are groomed, and are raised to be able to fit into leadership roles when it opens up. Else, that lacuna can lead to decreased performance, low performance. It can lead to low productivity. It can lead to unsatisfied customers. It can lead to customer loss, and it can lead to profit loss, which is not a good achievement for any organization. So succession management is very key, and one of the critical tools to ensuring that succession management is effective is mentoring, leadership mentoring. So mentoring is a powerful tool that facilitates the transfer of knowledge, skills, organizational culture from experienced leaders to potential successors. So this process helps to groom future leaders by providing them with the insight and experiences that are necessary to navigate complex organizational dynamics. Like my colleague Tolo Modara, would say, it is hand-holding the younger generation, walking them through the paths that the older generation have walked, showing them what to do, how to do it, and also encouraging them to bring in their creative and innovative ideas to ensuring that the organization continues and it has a place in the future. Else, if you don't groom future leaders, then that organization is tending towards obscurity and probably the death of the organization. Because if there are no leaders who are capable and competent enough to take the vision, run with that vision, achieve strategic goals and objectives, and ensure that the organization remains relevant, then it's as good as saying goodbye to that organization. So mentorship or mentoring is very key. So very quickly, I want us to consider what are the ways, or how does mentoring stand to be a tool for succession management in your organization. When we're talking about mentoring, and you're considering, you say, Adepeju, how does mentoring act as a tool for succession management or preparing my future leaders in the organization? The first thing I would say is that mentoring exposes your potential leaders to organizational strategy and vision. Mentoring exposes or create exposure to organizational strategy and vision. Mentoring provides aspiring leaders with access to the organization's strategic vision and long-term goals. So by working closely with mentors who are already in senior leadership positions, mentees gain a deeper understanding and insight into the organization's direction and how their roles fit into the bigger picture. And we see this even in the nation. Citizens can complain, they can say, oh, this is not working, this leader or this senator or this congressman is not making decisions in our favor, we don't like this person, we don't like these policies, why should this be implemented, or why should this policy be implemented? A lot of times it's because they lack insight and understanding to why that decision was made. But you see, those who were at the helm of power, policymakers, thought leaders, political figures, have to make a lot of decisions and look for the best fit alternative to ensuring that there is continuity. In the same vein, when there is mentoring, potential leaders, that's employees who have been identified, who have shown not only interest, but have shown capacity to grow to become an effective leader, come to understand the organization's vision more clearly. It's much more than just working an organization and clocking in 9 a.m. and clocking out 5 p.m. Now they understand the processes that runs in the organization. Now they understand why certain decisions are made. Now they understand their part in achieving the long-term goals and the vision of the organization. And this exposure is very essential to developing strategic thinking, innovation, and aligning future leaders with organization's mission and values. So mentoring exposes your potential leaders to the organization's vision and strategy. The next thing mentoring does is that it ensures knowledge and skill transfer. Mentoring facilitates the transfer of critical knowledge from experienced leaders to the mentees. Now, when you have a leader in a particular leadership role, it means they have displayed certain competencies and abilities that have made them fit to run or to carry out or execute tasks in that role. However, if the leader leaves without passing on the skills, you leave employees clueless, you leave them feeling lost, you leave them feeling tense because they don't know what to do. But mentoring allows for that seamless transfer of knowledge and skills from the leaders to potential leaders who have not become leaders but are leaders in training. Let me put it that way. Who are leaders in training. And I want to say this. I want to encourage you to listen to a series by my colleague, Institutional Building and Succession Management. Awesome, beautiful series that you need to listen to as a leader, whether you're the owner of the enterprise, you're the HR manager, you're the executive director. It's a series that will really be impactful to you. One of the things my colleague Tolo Madara said is that, yes, we agree that some people are born leaders. However, a lot of persons are raised to be leaders. Even born leaders have to be raised, have to be trained, and have to be groomed to become effective. You see children who are very smart, who have the initiative, who take the initiative, they're proactive, they're creative, but you don't leave them to themselves. You also want to guide and mold and shape to ensure that they have the right skills that make them effective leaders. In the same vein as a leader right now, or one of the things mentoring offers, is that it allows experienced leaders who are currently occupying leadership roles to pass on the knowledge and the skills they have garnered and gathered over the years to potential leaders, which can arm the potential leaders with the skills and the knowledge they need when they step into leadership roles, which is very, very important. Another thing that mentoring offers, or another thing mentoring does to impact succession management, is leadership development. Through mentoring, mentees can gain exposure to real life leadership challenges and decision making processes. One of the things I would say here, in passing, which sounds like a joke, but is actually a form of leadership and mentoring, is that as a young girl, there's a way you feel your parents are strict, particularly, let me say, the dynamics between mother and daughter. There's a way you feel like my mom is strict, my mom is always complaining, she's always nagging me, she's always telling me to pay attention to this, pay attention to that. I want to be free, I want to live my life. Until you grow to become a wife and a mother yourself, and you realize, oh, these skills were very essential to surviving adulthood. And you find yourself also wanting to pass down this knowledge and these skills to your daughters. And that's why you see in families, you have age-old recipes, traditional recipes passed down from generation to generation. You have knowledge, you have secrets, you have traditions passed down from generation to generation. In the same vein, when mentoring takes place, potential leaders are exposed to real life challenges. Now they see things for what it is. They're no longer the employees that are shielded from the challenges and all they get to do is just run their tasks and get paid. Now they can see real life leadership challenges and they are involved in decision-making process, or they see how decisions are made, how that you can have different strategic decisions or different strategy, and how do you come to the conclusion that this is the best fit out of the so many alternatives of the options that we have. This is the best fit for our organization at a time like this. So mentoring allows for potential leaders or the leaders you're growing to develop, because it allows mentors to provide guidance, support, and feedback to the mentees, which enables the mentees to develop their leadership skills in a practical context, hands-on. Now they see, oh, this is what the leaders face. This is the challenges they have to come across, and this is how they mitigate, or this is how they solve those challenges. So leadership development is another beautiful strategy or beautiful tool that mentoring brings to succession management. Another thing we'll talk about is cultural alignment. Cultural alignment. Mentors play a crucial role in instilling the organization's culture and values in their mentees. One of the things that is important is that the culture of the organization must continue. It must be passed on from generation to generation. And we believe that it is the place of leaders to pass on that tradition, to pass on the baton. It's like a marathon, a never-ending marathon. So I run my lap and then I pass on the baton to the next person. That person also runs his lap and passes on the baton. That is how it should be. That is what allows for continuity in an organization. So cultural alignment, or the alignment of potential leaders to the culture of the organization, is essential for ensuring that future leaders not only have the necessary skills that is needed to be a leader, but they also embody the organization's values and beliefs. They also embody it. Others can see that, yes, this person is walking in the light and the reality of what we stand for as an organization. So cultural alignment is very essential and is one thing that mentoring brings to succession management. And last night we're talking about is building relationships. Building relationships. Mentoring fosters strong relationships with the organization because it creates a network of trust and collaboration. As the leader interacts, teaches, trains, grooms the mentees or the potential leaders, there is a bond of trust and collaboration that is formed between the mentor and the mentees. And what this relationship does is that it allows for smoother transitions, and it ensures that the successors have all the support, all the technical know-how, all the encouragement that they need to succeed in their new roles. Because even when they become leaders, even when they eventually come into leadership roles, they still need support. So when they already have a working relationship with their mentor, even when the mentor is no longer in the organization, probably the mentor is now old and retired, or the mentor has relocated elsewhere, they can easily communicate and connect with these mentors and seek guidance, seek directions on how to do things better in their new roles. Very, very essential. So what's the impact of mentoring on organizational culture? We've seen the ways by which mentoring affects, or how important mentoring is to succession management. Now, what is the impact? What would this cause in your organization once mentoring is put in place? What are the effects you are expected to see in your organization? The first thing is that it will cultivate a learning culture. That is a given. When you have mentoring in place, you will find out that there's a learning culture. Employees or potential leaders will be willing to learn. They will be willing to develop. They'll be willing to get better. So organizations that prioritize mentoring demonstrate a commitment to continuous learning and development. There will always be platforms to grow, platforms to improve in competencies and skills. There will be a culture where knowledge sharing and professional growth are valued, and they encourage employees at all levels to seek out learning opportunities and contribute to the development of others, because employees will be able to see, or it will be clear to them that they are being raised and being groomed for a greater assignment. So mentoring will cultivate a learning culture in your organization. Mentoring will also promote diversity and inclusion in your organization. Yes, it will. Mentoring can be a powerful tool for promoting diversity and inclusion within leadership ranks, because by providing support and guidance to individuals across board, you're not being selective, even from underrepresented groups. Mentoring can help to break down barriers and create pathways to leadership that might otherwise be inaccessible. And that is why I started with the example of Kamala Harris. She's an African American, Asian American. Naturally, you would say this person does not have a fighting chance in the US Senate. You say she does not have a fighting chance. She's female in a system that is highly patriarchal. You might say, oh, just enjoy where you've been and just stay there. But with mentoring and mentorship, and she would say one of our greatest mentor has been the President Joe Biden. He has given her so many opportunities to grow, so many opportunities. She would say that Joe Biden exposed her to a lot of international relations. And so if Joe Biden did not create that pathway for mentoring, Kamala would have never been there. She would have never become that person who was competent and skilled enough to be given the presidential ticket for the Democrats. And like I said, this is not about voting Kamala or not. I'm just showing you that mentoring can promote diversity and inclusion. Now, with mentoring, somebody who would naturally not be considered now has a chance to become the president of the United States of America, just because she's been given the opportunity again and again and again to grow, to learn, to develop, and to prove herself. So mentoring provides diversity and inclusion, and a diverse leadership team will bring a wide range of perspective and experience to the table, and it will lead to a more innovative problem solving and better decision making in the organization. So that is one beautiful impact of mentoring in your organization. Another impact of mentoring in your organization is that it strengthens employee engagement and retention. It strengthens employee engagement and retention. Employees who have access to mentoring are more engaged and committed to their organizations. Mentoring provides them with a sense of purpose, provides them with a sense of belonging. It increases their loyalty and their ownership mentality. They feel like, I have a part to play in this organization. I have something to supply. Very, very important. And everyone wants to belong, or everyone wants to stay in an organization where they not only feel valued, but where they feel recognized and they feel like they have something to supply. They have a role to play. They have a part to contribute to that organization. So employees who are being trained, who are being groomed, will see a clear path to leadership within their organization, are more likely to stay and invest in their development, which will lead to lower turnover rates and a more stable leadership pipeline in your organization. And the last impact I'll be considering today, of course, it's not exhaustive, but the last I'll be considering for time is it builds a legacy of leadership. Mentoring builds a legacy of leadership. Mentoring contributes to the creation of lasting legacy of leadership within the organization. Because as current leaders mentor the next generation of leaders, they not only pass on their knowledge and skills, but they also pass on values, they pass on principles, they pass on expectations, they pass on the vision that defines the organization. And what this does, that it ensures continuity and stability. Like I said, it's passing on the baton. It's passing on the baton to the next person. And in the world of marathon, as long as you have athletes, as long as you have potential athletes in front and they keep passing on the baton, the race never stops. The race stops when the last person gets to the end goal. But for organizations, it's not like you want to end the organization in the next 4, 5, 10 years. So there must be that continuity. And so what mentoring does is that it creates a legacy of leadership where an employee can come into an organization and see the track record. They can trace the track record of achievement, of performance and productivity in the organization, which leads to success. And so they can tell, the president from so year to so year did this and handed over to this person. This person ran from so year to so year and also did this. And they can tell these are the things that stood them out as competent, effective leaders. And that can also spur on these new employees and also serve as templates for these new employees. So mentoring ensures that there is continuity and stability in your organization, even as leadership transitions occur, even as one person is moving from one level to another, and it helps to preserve the organization's identity and culture over time. So this tells us that mentoring is very, very essential to the progress and the success of any organization. Well, I hope you've learned so much today. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for being a part, and thank you for staying to the end. For your questions, for your feedbacks, and for your comments, you can visit us at contact@theamogate.org. Contact@theamogate.org. You can also connect with us on social media platforms, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and on Instagram. We'd love to connect with you. We would love to walk with you. That is why we are here. Don't walk alone. You can engage us and we will walk with you every step of the way. Until I come your way, same time next week, keep being amazing and keep reaching for the stars. Bye for now.